911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yeah, I'm on a road here. I got a guy. I'm holding him at gunpoint. He keeps walking forward. He takes another step. I'm gonna shoot.
Hi, my name is Brenda Kiehlmeier. I'm here to ask for your help in freeing my son. My son was involved in an incident on April 25th of 2009. He was on 911 when he was forced to shoot a young man. This young man's name was Jason Zach. Right now, if you go to Joel's Facebook under Joel Atkin, under his profile, you can view a lot of the court documents. His 911 tape is up and running on YouTube under Erie Justice 911 with an extra E on Erie. Look at the records, listen to the call, bunch of questions that I want answered. My big thing, and I probably couldn't say anything about this case if I did not hear the 911 call on my police scanner. There are things that came over my scanner that are not on his 911 call. They were brought to the immediate attention of his attorney at the time. The young man, it came over the scanner. The young man had a knife. There was no knife ever found. There's 20 to 30 seconds missing from Joel's 911 tape. There was a video turned over to police that they no longer have. My son was denied medical care. I just want answers. There's no way I'll ever believe my son just shot somebody. I know my son. My son had a criminal justice degree. He wanted to be the cop that did things by the book. And if I did not hear that 911 call that day, I would not have any questions to ask other than the missing evidence. I want to know how his car went from 100 feet at the preliminary hearing to 225 at trial. I want to know how this young man was shot in his lower right abdomen and the bullet exited higher. How my son was on his feet. My son wasn't on his feet. If you look at the records on Facebook, I have his medical records. Joel's face was broke, or his nasal passage. I just want answers. I want the truth. That's all I can say. I just want answers.
Now, the other side's related to some Erie, PA cops, or a officer, or...
The arresting officer has the same last name as the victim, and I have heard that that is a family member of the arresting officer.
Now, with the victim, wasn't there, wasn't he drunk, or...?
He had a blood alcohol level of 0.14 and hydrocodone past prescription levels.
Now, you know if he's had a violent history of attacking people, or...?
I do. Why I know this is because I have family members that know this family, and I've heard stories about them for years before. At trial, I was given police records of incidents this young man was involved in with striking police officers. The one incident, it took two police officers, an off-duty police officer and an off-duty prison guard to get this young man into custody. And what did they expect my son to do if it took 4 people to get this young man who was drunk and out of control by himself?
Now, what happened to the camera that filmed the video of the incident?
It was turned over to Erie Police Department, and somewhere along the line it was deemed of no evidentiary value. We don't know where the video is.
Now the reports, the health reports are on your son, what damage did he get from the attack?
When Joel was taken to the hospital in the middle of the night, it was at the time when there was no radiologist at St. Vincent's. They're sent through a teleradiologist, and the radiologist on duty said that Joel had an apparent nasal spectrum fracture. And then when St. Vincent's radiologist read it, they said no fracture, but on his discharge papers, it says old fracture. I just feel it's a case like the nurse, that not only the nurses are falsifying evidence, doctors are. And that's wrong. And I know for a fact that Erie Police Department takes all of their medical needs to St. Vincent's. How many more other people have this happened to?
Now, has the Erie, Pennsylvania cops caused you any intimidation? Did any intimidation tactics towards you? Try to intimidate you?
Not as of yet, but I have been, through people I've talked to since the incident, I've been told to back off the case or I was going to be found on the roadside dead. And I was also told, in time, my family will experience backlash when things are kind of, calmed down. And
have you experienced a lot of hate online by people anonymous, people who are hiding their names?
Yes. Nobody's afraid, or everybody's afraid to even come out. And let me go this way. Everybody that I talk to about this case tells me they know my son's innocent. They're praying for me. Either they know the Sacks, don't like the Sacks, whatever. But everybody's afraid to open their mouth because of retaliation.
So you got a lot of good people standing behind you.
Oh, I have a lot of prayers.
I mean, anyone who has the ears or morals or a thinkable head would watch this video and know who's in the right and wrong, and it was defense. Someone should not go to jail for a defensive situation.
I totally agree, and when I left that day, after I heard the call on the scanner, and it came over the scanner, the shooter was in a purple Saturn. I just knew it was my son. He was on his way to my house. I knew he was on the way. When I left that day, I told my son, who was at home, that I was going to get Joel. He was involved in a shooting. My son looked at me. He said, "It'll be all right, Mama. You know Joel did the right thing." And I looked back at my son and I said, it wasn't Joel I was worried about. And that nightmare turned out. My son has done 2 years of his life for protecting himself.
And didn't he also want to become an officer of the law?
He did. Yes, he wanted to be a cop that did things by the book.
Didn't he go to the law college?
He went to Mercyhurst College and obtained his 2-year criminal justice degree. And the reason why he ended up with his concealed carry was he was intending on being a cop. But in August of 2008, he was ripped out of his car on 12th and Ash by a black man and assaulted. Thank God the 2 people that were in front of him called the cops, and the cops ended up coming, but the black guy ended up taking off, but he was eventually found.
Was that like a random robbery?
It was some type of road rage thing. This guy wanted my son to pull over. What had happened, from what I understand, I wasn't there. Joel was coming in 12th Street, and he was on his way to my son's football game. And on 12th and Weschler, they had the right-hand lane closed off. Well, this gentleman was in a Corvette, and he came up flying in the right-hand lane, and when he ran into the roadblock, naturally he had to stop. It was 6 o'clock, 6:30, 12th Street's busy. Well, my son was the last car through in the left-hand lane, and this black guy became very upset with Joel for some reason. I don't know why. I wasn't there. But from what I understand, this black guy wanted Joel to pull into the streets department, and Joel drove by there, and then Joel eventually thought he lost him and was sitting on the light on 12th and Ash when he was ripped out of the car by this guy, and 2 witnesses called the cops and told, what happened.
Now, about the Erie, Pennsylvania police, do you have anything you have to say about the Erie police and the way they're handling this as a whole, the whole department?
As a whole, I've known of wrongdoing for a long time, but I've turned my other cheek because it never involved my family. But I can remember stories from back when I was a little kid, and my grandfather would tell me things. My grandfather was a special deputy sheriff that used to work at restaurants for security, and he would tell me stories. And to present day, to my ex, walking away from so many charges that it's sick. Eventually one day he's going to hit and kill somebody, and I'm going to go to that family and tell them how many times he's walked away from DUIs.
Now, with the local media, like, they're not talking to you at all, right?
I was told right from day one by Attorney Logue, who saw my son Saturday at the Erie County or Erie Police Department, not to talk to the media, which was the wrong move, because I should have been talking from Jump Street with what I heard on my scanner.
The silenced voice is never powerful.
No, I'll never shut up. I've been told to shut my mouth or I was going to be found on the roadside dead. I went to Kurt Sonny's office and told him, you go back and you tell them. I died April 25th of 2009. Whatever they do to me won't hurt me. They're going to have to kill me to shut my mouth. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And if we all lived by those morals, this would be a hell of a place. Brenda Kiehlmeier, and I'm signing off.
Listen here, sport. You want a videotape? I'll take your camera. Put that on. Listen here, sport. You want a videotape? I'll take your camera. Put that on. Listen here, sport. You want a videotape? I'll take your camera. Put that on.
I guarantee you that. Christian Lestat.
Sorry, am I in your way? Go that way. Go that way.
Well, I have to go that way.
Yes, you have to go that way. I'm showing you on camera. You have to go that way.
Why is that?
Start walking or you're going to get locked up.
Is there a law that says I have to go that way?
I'm going to count to 2. I don't care about a camera. Cameras mean nothing to me. I'm going to count to 2. Start walking. 1, 2, keep going. See ya.
Have a good day, sir.
Yep.